Hi guys, it's me, Dawn. Um, I wanted to hop on today and I was going to um, update you guys on some of the paranormal activity that I have been having around my house. Since I have been young, I have always kind of have had problems with attachment of things to me. Um, Mind you, I was raised in a Christian home, and so we were not allowed to have like Ouija boards, um, or anything to that matter. We were not allowed to have in the house. So it wasn't that, it was anything like that. But since we have lived, when we lived in Paintsville, which is just about 45 minutes north of here, um, we moved into an apartment complex, and they were really nice apartments, and it was our first time together, and I was so excited. And I was washing dishes. First off, let me tell you this. When we moved in there, the neighbors before said that we were the first tenants to move in that apartment in years. And I was kind of wondering, wow. And nobody would really tell us the story. They just said there was an accident there. And so I just kind of let it go. Oh, I don't want to know all this. So I just kind of let it go. But we had got our stuff moved in. I was unboxing one day, and I was in the kitchen. I was washing my dishes, well, rinsing them off so I could put them in the cabinets. And I was washing the dishes, and as I would wash the dishes, I would turn around and sit them on the table on a towel that I had. And mind you, um, it's just like the kitchen, the table, and then the little hallway into the living room. Well, my son only had one son at the time, and he was just a year old. He was having a nap time upstairs in his playpen. And I turn around, my front door's shut because this is a city, and I'm from the country, and I kept the doors locked because I was afraid someone would walk in on me. And because it was kind of like the hood, as everyone called it there. And um, I had been washing the dishes, doing really well, and then I turn around to sit a plate down, and there's a little boy. He's standing there, and my little boy had one of those Disney's, Pixar's, the cars, and with the handle on it that they could push or they could ride. And he was standing there, and he had dark hair. My little boy has blonde hair. He has dark hair, and he just smiled so daggum cute. And I was like, "What's your name?" It never dawned on me. Your door's locked. How did this neighborhood kid get in here? But that's what I was thinking. He's a neighborhood kid. He's got in somehow. And I turned back around to lay my dish rag down. Turned back around. This kid was gone. It still gives me chills. I got the hair growing up on the back of my neck right now. Well, I turned around, walked in the living room, and I looked. There was nobody there. The door was locked. So I quickly went upstairs where my son was. Him still sound asleep, which I knew it wasn't him because how did he go from blonde hair to black hair? I checked all the other rooms, which there was 2 other bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs. No one was there. So I opened the door and looked in the closet. Just praying to God nothing jumped out at me. I hate closets. Nothing was there, so I went back downstairs and I opened the door. Well, our porches were kind of combined together, and my neighbor was sitting there on that porch, and I was like, did you see a little boy come out of here? And she was like, no, what did he look like? And I was like, he was about this tall. He kind of had dark skin, and he had dark hair. And she just looked at me and shook her head. And I was like, my door was locked, and there was a little boy in here. And she's like, come here and sit down with me. Maybe I should tell you what's going on. Okay. Come to find out, they were a mom that had lived there, and she had murdered 2 kids. Both of her kids, actually. And the air was on, so no one smelled it. They were in this house for a week. She had shot her little boy and her little girl, and she had shot herself in the closet. This shook me. This totally shook me. Okay. I was like, oh no, why did I get this apartment? So I called the manager and I was like, listen, can we possibly get another apartment? I was like, this has got a bad juju about it. Like, I don't feel safe here. And I told her what had happened, and she's like, we have none available right now. My luck. So I guess we had to suck it up and take it. So, days went by, weeks went by, nothing out of the ordinary happened. And I had got a new job at the Taco Bell in town, and I was at work. Well, my husband called me, and he was terrified. He said him and the neighbor's husband were standing on the porch, and he said he had the front door of the house, cracked about that much. And he said that he heard the baby crying. And he said he had the baby laying on the couch, had a pillow in it, and had a playpen like pushed up against it in case he did roll, which he wasn't rolling at the time. In case he did roll, he couldn't come out on the floor. But something had picked him up off of the couch and laid him in the floor in front of the TV, all the way across the room. My neighbor even said, yeah, he was laying on that couch when we left. So, what picked him up and who picked him up? Now, this freaked him out so bad, he didn't go back in the house until I came home. And we kind of had a discussion. I filed a complaint with the main office and told him I needed another place. I did not feel safe in my own environment. And again, told him what had happened again. Of course, we lived there altogether almost 4 years. But you could hear, like, do you remember if the old game where the jacks and the little balls and you would shake them and drop them? Well, we would hear this upstairs when we were downstairs. The TVs would come on and go off. My little aunt, she was 71 at the time. She spent the night with us, and me and her heard the same thing at the same time. I jumped up to go look and see if someone had come in the front door and broke into the house. And we heard someone coming up the stairs, and there was no one there. No one there. Nothing really physically touched any of us. But the sounds that you would hear in the middle of the night and sound like people walking up and down the stairs, cabinet doors opening. If you left the TV on, it would go off. If you left it off, it would come on. It was very, very, very a weird apartment. About a year before we got to move out of that apartment, the only reason we got to move was because I ended up pregnant with my second child. And I was almost 6 months pregnant with him before we got to move out of that apartment to a 4-bedroom. And we would have got a 3-bedroom, but they didn't have any more 3s, but we needed an extra room, so they moved us to the 4-bedroom. When we moved there, I had found out that one of my friends that I had actually met up there on the street, her sister had passed away from cancer in that apartment, and there was a cemetery right on the hill behind. Sorry about that, my camera cut off. Battery depleted. But we moved in that second apartment, and I found out that my best friend's sister had passed away there in that apartment from cancer. I really wasn't too much worried about that as much as I was the cemetery on the hill behind us. And that place was really scary. My little boy was in the bathtub one night, and we were downstairs sitting, and I heard him screaming bloody murder. I mean, it's just like right at the top of the stairs, and we left the door open. He was 5 anyway. He was 4, getting ready to turn 5. And he would just sit, and we just ran a little bit of water in it, and he started screaming, like, bloody murder. And we ran upstairs, and he was like, there was an evil people, and he pointed toward the bedroom, and I guess it had come out, the way he told us was it had come out of that bedroom and into the bathroom, and he was terrified. He was laying down with his little face in the water, almost, screaming, crying. And this kid loved to take baths, but he wanted out. He wanted out, and he hadn't been in there 10 minutes, and he loved to play. And we got him out, drawed him off, and took him downstairs. And when we took him downstairs, we sit him down on the end of the couch. Now, the end of the couch was like right here, and the stairs went up behind the couch. My friend Tabby was sitting on this end of the couch. He was sitting on this end of the couch. I was sitting over by the computer desk in the far corner, and my husband was sitting in the chair. And he started screaming, and he's like, my back burns, my back burns. And we looked, and there was claw marks, like, on his back. And I'll get him to tell you about it in one of these videos. Because, like, his room was where everything was happening. Like, we would find his toys lined up in circles underneath his bed. He would wake up in the middle of the night terrified because he would say there was something under his bed. And it was just, it was so horrible. We had said prayers, and I took some holy water, oil, sage, everything, and it was like nothing stopping it. Mind you, people, we've moved 3 times after that we had almost the same experiences, and that's why I'm saying I do not believe that it was necessarily the apartments. I believe that it is attached to me and my family. I've already talked long enough on this one, but a part 2 is coming up. The next one is going to be a little bit more scary, so please get ready. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm online, because part 2 is coming up quick. Love you guys.